There are exactly two rules that will make your cross of the break of the registers on the clarinet much easier, and we will discuss both of these two rules that you have to follow today in this short video. The first rule will have to do with our hand. It's called the right hand down. The second rule will be the two-note rule, and it will have to do with our air, but we will check this out later in this video. We will start now with the right hand down rule. First of all, what is crossing the break? So crossing the break means simply that we go from the low register into the next register, which is the register with the register key. So many people struggle with this register break because psychologically many instabilities happen there. Actually, they shouldn't happen, but they still happen. And so we do weird things with our body, with our throat in this moment, and this causes us to mess up the register break. Now, what is the right hand down rule? The right hand down rule says that whatever the next note after the register cross is, we will put the right hand down, but not the entire right hand down, only the exact note that follows after the register break. Yeah, so let's say we have AE. You would put your right hand down on exactly the fingerings that are necessary to play this E. If it was, on the other hand, AF, you would put just this finger down from the right hand. If you don't do that, you lose around 50% of stability in the register break. Yeah? It's much more difficult than. It just provides a lot of extra stability that makes it more likely to occur that the register break will be nice. Now, many of you might now hear that and say, "Wow, that is really interesting," and but you will not implement it. The thing is, implementing this specific technique will take you around 2 months or like at 1 month of really focused paying attention to exactly that. I mean, in theory, every scale will have a different fingering for the notes that comes before the break. So let's say you have, for example, an F major arpeggio. You will put the right hand on the C during the A, and then this will be your fingering for the A, because the next note after the A, if in F major arpeggio, is the C. Now, if you had another scale, for example, D major, your fingering during the A would be with all these three fingers down that are, because the next note will be a D. So for each scale, the fingering that happens before the break will be a different one. And even if you have the F major regular scale, so not the arpeggio, the finger will go down during the B flat and not during the A. You can already put it down during the A, but so the note that you put it down during will be a different one. So to implement that is not about information, that is about that you will need to focus, completely relearn the fingerings that are necessary to play all the scales, all the arpeggios, and to always observe in every piece of music which note comes after the break. So this happens even in melodies, yeah? So if you see something like that in music and you have A, F, during the A, your eyes already have to go to the next note and not treat it as an individual thing, but prepare the finger before it happens. And that is much harder to do than you might think. So that will take you around a month to implement that with daily focus on exactly only that. Now let's come to the second rule of crossing the break. This is called the two-note rule. This rule has to do with air. So the other rule was about fingers. This one is about air. Most of us have a psychological reflex. So this doesn't have any reason. It just happens psychologically because you do something. You go to the next register. So this means I need to close the throat. I need to stop blowing. So you have this reflex. So this rule causes this reflex to go away. So what we do before crossing the break, we will use the 2-note rule. And we will basically give an extra boost of air 2 notes before the break happens. So in case of a chromatic scale, or in case of an arpeggio, you give this ya-da-da during, for example, here in the F major arpeggio, F and A, you give before the break, and then this forces your throat to open so that it can't close during the break. So the goal is not to blow through this, but to blow extremely 2 notes before the break happens. Yeah, it happens so much in repertoire where we just ya da 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 ya ya, and then give this extra boost of air 2 notes before the break. And it just helps tremendously that your throat will open, you will not have the closing reflex, and the cross of the break will be much, much easier for you. The same happens obviously on the way down. Yeah, where you also 2 notes before you cross the break on the way down. You give the extra boost of air, fast air, you force your throat to open, it will not close on you, and then that's that. By the way, if you do not have control yet over the clarinet, control means you play something 1 time, and 1 time again, and 1 time again, and then 10 times in a row, and 10 times in a row it comes exactly the way you'd like. If you have not reached that yet, you don't have control over the clarinet yet. If you want to fix that, go to clarinetmasterclass.com. The link is down below. This is my program where I teach complete control over the clarinet. I'm 100% sure this will happen to you too. Sign up there. See you inside. Bye.